Okay, here we are for another episode of Choose Your Path with me, your host, Sherontelle, celebrity publicist, motivational speaker, and number one, international best-selling author of the number one habit series for entrepreneurial success, which you can find right now on Amazon, or you can click the link in the bio and you can purchase the book. It's absolutely amazing. There's so many entrepreneurs from all over the world, and they talk about good habits that they develop to make them a better entrepreneur. Hello, Alvin Smith, Hung Stanley 26. Hello, I see you guys. Oh my goodness, this is going to be great. Cool is the rule. You see that? Yeah, I had to put it on today. Oh, shout out to workout underscore two underscore help. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Thank you for tuning in. I really sincerely appreciate it. Wow. We got a really good crowd tonight. This is amazing. Thank you. This is absolutely amazing. This makes me want to cry, literally. Wow. Let's see. I am going to... Oh, there he is. It popped right up. Bring in our guest. Da-da-da. Is it... I don't know. There we go. Hi, Brenda. Okay, we here.
How you doing?
I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy. For one, we have an amazing crowd of people who has tuned in. That's absolutely amazing. I don't take that for granted whatsoever. This is amazing. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
don't even know where to start. Like, thank you so much. It was so amazing how we connected. Here is I had to put my hoodie on today. Hello, Tamika Lee. Thank you so much, 10K Chorus, for your donation. This is a really cool hoodie, and let me tell you why. One, I love black. I mean, if anyone watched the shows previously, I'm always wearing like a black t-shirt or a black hoodie. It feels really cool as the rule. Like, I really think that we need this right now in this time. This is like really to inspire. Like, I know what's going on in the world, but it's okay to be cool. Like, that's it. That's the rule, right? No matter what. So, yeah, that's what I got from this. So, this is amazing. Yeah. Let me see. I can try to put your name down here at the bottom so people can go and follow.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get started. That's my little rant. I am talking to, do I just say Diesel Down Low? Is that okay?
That's it. Yep.
That's it? Okay, cool. That is who I am talking to, ladies and gentlemen. He is an actor, a motivational speaker. This should be a very interesting conversation. Entrepreneur, a model, CEO of Diesel Down Low, which this is one of the really cool hoodies. And Alvin Smith, he's on here. Hello. Hi, Tamika Lee. So how do we start? You're originally from Youngstown, Ohio.
Exactly.
I'm from Cleveland.
See, you right up the street.
Right up the street. I am from Cleveland. When I seen that, I said, oh my God, he's from my hometown. So your journey as an entrepreneur started at the age of 22, right? And you had an amazing mentor. Tell me about your mentor. Tell me a little bit about him.
I had
Marco.
several, many. Oh, Marco Malice.
Yes.
My cousin, he was an actor, and he acted on, American Pie, Flight with Denzel. He was in Atlanta doing his thing, and he really was telling me like his experience. So he was just, how you have people in your life that share experiences to you and share you like what they did, and I was very fascinated by that. So I didn't really get to act until like 3-4 years after he shared that information to me. So once he shared to me like what he did, I was like, okay, I got nothing else but to do that, because I want to see myself on TV. I used to show my friends, like, look at my cousin, he on TV. And then, so that's how it really started in that relationship with me and him.
That is super exciting. See, the story behind it makes it even all better. It's a beautiful thing. First and foremost, that you had a mentor, right? Because a lot of people they get kind of left in the dark and their dreams start to diminish because of all of the responsibilities when you're getting ready to do the adult thing, right? It's a lot of
Right.
responsibilities. And as you're, navigating through the responsibilities, sometimes for some people, obviously not all, but for a lot of people, their dream seems to diminish because of the survival. They switch into survival mode. They got to get the job, they got to do this, and they
Right.
got to do that. So it's nice when you have mentors because they show you that your dreams are like they can be real, like they're possible. They inspire you to like look beyond whatever the limits that people tend to put on us when we come from certain backgrounds. Everybody don't get that mentor. So I thought that that was very significant when I read that in your bio that you had a mentor. I love to hear that. That's amazing. And
Right.
to hear the story behind it of what he was doing, being a part of some amazing projects would inspire me too.
Right. That's like, listen, look, when he was doing this, I was young. I was on all focused on basketball. That was my first thing I ever did was basketball. So I was really just, focused on basketball, trying to be the best I can be. But the basketball was coming to an end, eventually. So I had to think about the next move and the next agenda, next, mission in my life. So, it happened that he just shared to me some information. He didn't really say how to do it. All he said was, "This is what I did." So, and then I was
Hmm.
like, okay, I did the rest. So that's how it works sometimes. Sometimes you don't, you get feedback from life, and life gives you that feedback from people and circumstances, and they reveal to you what you need to do. Sometimes you don't always get like the formula written all out for you, but sometimes they give you a little bit of the nuggets. So,
Wow, yeah, that is amazing. How were you doing during this pandemic? And then have you learned any lessons during this time since last year?
honestly, doing what I do. I was doing this stuff before the pandemic. Like they
Yeah.
live in a virtual world. You're probably doing the same thing. Only thing that this did allowed me to sharpen up my studying skills, and I really like to research and do a lot of studying. That's all I really do: is study, work out, and come up to the what I call my hangar. This is like my hangar where I do my study and my research and be inspired. So I come up here and get to work.
Wow, that is no, that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I was already in the digital world for a while. And I remember people saying, like, I don't need that social media thing you talking about, Sherontelle. They call me Slim back then. They're like, Slim, I don't want that. And I'm like, no, really, you need to. And it's like you already ahead of it. So it's like this is not even a transition into this world. But for many, it is.
That's true, and that allowed them to grow. Now they can see what we go through.
Exactly. Can you describe what influenced you other than the mentor to go into acting? Were there any other things that influenced you to go into that?
My drive, my determination, my will to show people what can be done. A lot of people where I'm from, and you know how it is in Cleveland. You being in Cleveland, like they don't feel like anything. They don't think it's possible. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, it's so hard to do it. You got to go to LA. You got to do all this." Like they make it so hard. The dream is so hard to do, and that in your mind, you got to like remember. Alvin was saying like when in the video, he's like, "They do this." Like your mind's telling you evil, whatever he was saying. Like I don't know what he
Yeah.
was. You know what he was
Yeah,
saying?
it's not,
He
no,
was
I get it. Yeah, it's always those both sides of the brain where one is saying it has to protect you, and the other one is saying be free. And you gotta like
exactly.
be the medium in between to decide. And that's the cool thing about choose your path is that I want people to realize that you really can choose it. Like it's your decision. We cannot control external events because I can hear those voices too. That's not what I'm talking about. It's way deeper than that. And when you realize that, then life starts to look a lot better and you're able to navigate. It doesn't mean that life doesn't stop happening though, because things happen, but you just learn to
Sure.
navigate it through it. But you got to make a decision. You got to choose.
Yeah, that's true. So, when I got into acting, I was in the country, Chile. I was studying abroad, and I was in my undergrad, studies, and I knew that I didn't want to work for nobody. So that wasn't. I mean, not saying I don't want to work for nobody. No, no, no. I'm not saying like nothing wrong with collaborating and doing projects, and
Yeah, I get
it's going
it.
to be the way I envision it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say anyone that's working for somebody. I'm not trying to say that because some people take that the wrong way. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that I knew that I wanted to do something, much bigger than I thought I could do at that present moment in my time. So I'm in the country studying international business, studying Chile, going around the city, walking by myself and some, my classmates. And I was really just asking, God and the universe, like, what's next? Basically I was saying, what's the thing that's emerging inside of me? What's the next thing for me? And so I signed up for grad school for my master's, and I started acting. So that's what I did.
Phenomenal. I drink a lot of coffee because me and my
Oh,
grandma,
that's
we
fine.
used
Do
to
you?
sit and have conversations. Yeah. We used to have conversations in the morning and we would have a cup of coffee. So I incorporated
All
that
right.
in these conversations. Yeah. So I can have her
That's
spirit.
cool.
I
And
feel like her
you want to know
spirit
one
is
thing
right
about
here with
coffee?
me.
Can I say one thing about that? My grandma
Yes.
used to do the same thing, and my great grandma. But I didn't never drink coffee. They told me not to drink coffee, so I never had coffee in my entire life ever.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. That I've never, maybe I have and never even asked, but I think you're the first person I've met that never really, ever, not ever. Yeah, she started with the teaspoons
No.
when I was 5. Like it was a teaspoon of it, right? And then as I got
Mm-hmm.
older, it turned into a cup. And I was like, oh man, and I've
Oh,
been drinking it
okay.
ever since. So yeah, I like it. It's good. It
That's
tastes
awesome.
great. Uh, yeah. I hope to one
That's
day have
awesome.
my name on a bag. I think that would be cool. I don't know. Just my thoughts.
And you
Do
talking to
you
somebody?
think
You talking to somebody that could do that?
oh, really? That is so cool. See, you
Go ahead.
never
We'll talk about that later.
know. Yeah, but we'll definitely talk about that later. Can you tell me, what do you feel, what is more important for an actor? Would it be the talent or the training or both? But then I don't know. I want to say what's more important, the talent or the training?
For me, I think training, because you can have all the talent in the world, and if you don't know how to use it right, or you don't have the right people to put you in the right position to utilize your talent, then you could be a couch potato still with the talent. I think hard work and training is something that doesn't get recognized a lot, because that's what it takes for you to get there.
Is the training. Yeah, see? And like right now I'm taking voice acting classes, right? And I was thinking like someone came in the ear and said, no, Sherontelle, you don't have to do that. I can get you a job like tomorrow, right? And I'm like, no, no, no. I just feel like it's something in that process, especially when it comes to the education piece of it. Like I remember working as an EMT for many, many years. I did like 15
Mm-hmm.
years in emergency department mainly. And if I didn't understand the language of hooking up an IV or getting ready for a MVC to come through, or all of those GSWs, all of those,
Right.
codes, it's good that I can hook up the IV bag, but if I'm not understanding the terminology, then what's the point? What's the point of it all? I'm going to be in a world that I'm not going to be actually familiar with because I didn't take the time to trust the process and learn what it details and the descriptions and all of those things. So, yeah, I think it's something with that. And I'm excited to go along on this journey and see where it takes me, but I'm not trying to just jump head first, not in something like that anyway.
Exactly. A lot of people want to skip the meat and potato stage, and they want to go to, the oh, let me be on TV, let me be a star. They just want to go to skip all the hard work. But within training and within all that time you put into that craft, you get to hone in on it. You get to sharpen your iron. You get to sharpen your skill set. You get to sharpen all the things that you didn't know you had, and you get to see new skills that you could pick up. So for me, like I'm studying 4 different languages right now, and reason I'm studying 4 different languages right now is because I feel like it's going to take me to another level in terms of where I want to go in my career and where in my path. Like you said, choose your path. I feel like it's going to go to another level for my path, and it's going to allow me to share and talk to my experience to different other people and different other cultures. So you got to do the meat and potatoes, and I'm going to do like project about that real soon.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yes, it will definitely take you far. I had met a female the other day, maybe it was about 2 weeks ago. She can speak 7 different languages.
Ooh,
And I was like,
ooh.
you are freaking phenomenal. Like, that is amazing. And she says, yes. She's like, I have to do it. Like, so she does international business and her speaking 7 languages. I can only imagine what that
Yeah,
looks
I
like
mean,
in her brain.
it's it's funny. My one of my first tutors in Portuguese, she speaks like 4 different languages, and she was sharing to me how she mastered it and how she like gained the knowledge of like different languages. So I learned so much from her, and then now, I have a new person I'm working with. But the first person ever taught me like the language, she broke it all the way down for me. So now I take that training, what she learned, put it over here, and it helped in every area of my life too.
Oh man, that is amazing. Yeah, my daughter, she's fluent in how do you say that? Mandarin?
Which one? Mandarin, Chinese.
Yeah, yeah, she's fluent in that. I
Hmm.
thought that that was dope. Yeah, we was in the
That's
nail
very
salon. They
dope.
said, "What did she say? What did she say?"
That's very dope. Especially young kids learning that language is good for business.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take it. Let's continue. What steps do you think it takes to understand the importance of a character to a story fully? Like, what steps do you take?
Uh, Honestly, when you want to build a
Hmm.
story, because right now we're building some some projects in the animation world and uh, children books and short stories. Right now, the person I've been learning from, the way they taught me was that the character is something that reflects what the story is about. So in our story, we're showing 2 different people and 2 different characters going through. One is grateful and one is ungrateful, right? So the story reflects those 2 characteristics of being grateful, being ungrateful, and it's a different challenge and a different like a different story within itself. I don't know if that makes sense,
Hmm.
but like it's a
Yes,
story
it
within
does.
that, like within like the 2 characters going through their challenges. And right now, the way I learned is that the characters resemble that through the story. So I don't know if it makes sense, but it's all one.
That is absolutely amazing. That sounds amazing. Yeah. And see that you're showing both sides of the brain. Like some people can be grateful and some can be not grateful. Or you can find yourself in a situation where you're not being grateful, but on the other side you should be. But somehow,
Exactly.
like even sometimes when people be in situations where they went from rags to riches, right? And they got
Hmm.
to that point, but they're no longer grateful as they were when they had absolutely nothing. So it could be all one
That's true.
person, but 2 different things. So yeah, I get you. I understand. I get what you're saying. That's cool.
Yeah, you want to create things that serves purpose, and that's what we want to do here. We want to create things that when the children picks up a shirt, they're inspired. They pick up books, they pick up the films or whatever stuff the animation stuff we're creating. That everyone's inspired. You know what I mean? We want the people to enjoy it as a family as well. So especially the kids stuff. I definitely want the kids and the parents to be able to experience it as a family. A lot of people don't want to experience things with people more since the COVID too. Everyone wants to be
Yeah.
isolated, and you want them to enjoy each other's presence. So that's the content I want to create is creating things that serve purpose, and you want to create things that will change people's lives and change people's inspiration. You don't want people being couch potatoes. You want people being inspired, and you want people to be purpose driven, not always task driven. You want to be purpose driven, and that's 2 different ways. When you're purpose driven, it's your task and it's your what's the other one? Your driven like task and goal oriented. If you're goal
Okay.
oriented as well, you want to put both of those together to serve a larger purpose. You know what I mean? So when you're purpose oriented, you're doing things to change the world, and that's what we want to do here. I want to make sure that people are inspired every single day. They're getting up and they want to be better. And I think a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. That's what we want to do, though.
No, they definitely don't want to hear that, but that's definitely what you want to do. That is so funny. What is, hmm, I want to say, what is the first thing that you do to research before you approach a role? Like, what does that look like for you when you were a part?
Well,
Because you've been a part of, we didn't even talk about that. Like, you've been a part of Empire, Chicago PD, Canal Street, and so many more, right? So we
yeah.
didn't, like, how do you, what do you do when you pick it up and you decide, like, yeah, this is it?
Well, it depends which role I was in. You know, some of those things I started out as a background player or a background
Mm-hmm.
artist, and I had to work my way up and get the grind and see what other people do. Got to get there extremely early. I used to have to get on set like at 4 a.m. 3:30 a.m., 4 a.m. and get there on time and be disciplined and get up early, go to bed early, and wake up early. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the stuff that people don't know about. In driving in Chicago and driving in Youngstown, it's two different worlds, by the way. So when going to Empire and all that, I started out as a background player, and then I just worked my way up through the grind and worked it up, and I've been professional every day. And a lot of people don't know that, but you gotta be a professional. You gotta be on time. You gotta show discipline. So some of the roles that I got was based off of that, but the ones that I got speaking roles on
Mm-hmm.
and got principal roles on, I just knew I could play those roles. I put myself in those shoes. I got cousins that been in jail, prison. I seen them my whole
Oh,
life
me
doing
too.
drugs. You know what I'm saying? I seen all that. I
Yeah.
mean, you seen it too, right?
Yeah, I seen that. A lot of it.
Okay, so did I. I didn't do it,
Mm-hmm.
but they did it.
Right.
But
Right.
I was able to observe and just take experiences that I had. And me being in school, I was always a class. I wasn't a class clown, but I can make people laugh. If that makes sense. Like people always wanted me to impersonate somebody because I'm good at that, impersonation. So I was practicing since I was a baby.
That is so cool. I remember before the first time that I actually got on stage on daytime TV, I used to sit in the audience and I would go to the shows in New York. I currently live in Connecticut, but I would go into New York and just go to the
Mhm.
shows and I would sit there and I would watch the writers, the producers and executive producers, everyone running around, and somehow I would introduce myself to whoever it is that's working in the back, because those are the people that's making everything happen. So those are the ones I need to connect with. And I would just take notes and I would sit there in the audience, and I did that for a while alongside sending the pitches to get on, right? And then when I finally found myself on the other side, I said, wow, this is possible. But there was a
Yeah.
process to it. So a lot of times people always ask, like, how did you? And it's like, I just trust the process and I just believe that, but they think it's something more than that. And it's
Hmm.
not, it's not, it's just that. What do you think that makes people so frustrated when you tell, like, what is that? What do you think?
Because they're fascinated on this reality that's not really true. If that makes sense. I'm just saying. Some people, no, no, no. Some people be like,
No, that's true.
they're in a reality that they don't understand. So, well, for me to get them to understand, one, I have to bring them into what I do. But it's like a thing. It's a challenge at first. When I first was starting out, I was thinking that everyone understood this stuff. But now that I got older, not everyone understands 1+1 = 2. So my thing is that I have to just walk my walk, and eventually, when their eyes, open up, they can see, what it is. They have to have a
Yeah,
growth, have their own
absolutely.
growth and stuff.
That's
And I
true.
wanted to
Because I've
ask you a
been through
question
some
too.
stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you a
Just a
question.
conversation.
You know how you said
Hmm.
you wanted to you was on set or at the basically it's a set that you were in
Hmm.
the audience at first and you kept writing notes, seeing what people did. That's what you have to do because that's what I did being an extra. I was being the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? I had to work my way up every day and work like every day was my last. For real. People think it's funny. They're
No,
like, oh,
no,
you
that's
just
a
an
true.
extra.
No, that's a real thing. I was taking the train back and forth from Connecticut to New York. You know what I mean? Like I was taking the train,
Yeah,
and then I got on one and the black car came and picked me up, and that's when I realized that I had reached a different level. Like I
exactly.
had advanced. Yeah, I had evolved. All of those beautiful words, moving forward, and I'm grateful for the process.
Exactly. A
I'm
lot of people
grateful
want
for
to
the
skip it.
process.
People want to skip that step. You cannot skip anything. You got to go through
Yeah, you got to go through it. What
it.
inspired you? You're a whole brand. What I'm going to try to touch on all of it.
Go ahead.
What inspired you to be a model?
Well, that just came with the acting. You know, it was just like someone asked me, "Can you model our gear?" I was like, "Yeah, I do it." You know, it was
You
just
said
like
it
one of those
came
things
with the
that
you came with the acting. No,
it just came
some
with it.
people don't want to model. That is so cool.
I'm 6'4". You know what I mean? I'm tall. Some people like that model, like the tall model. So they wanted, a tall person, and I was like, yeah, I could do it. And it's funny that once I learned, like, I was on set. One of my first sets, the first set I ever been on was Banshee. I don't know if you heard of the show. It's a little
I don't
older.
think I.
About
Mm-hmm.
it was about 6 years ago.
Okay.
June 17th, 2015. I never forget. That was the first time I ever did a set. And I go on set, and the lady came to me and said, "I know you're going to be in the game for a while. Let me give you some information so you can get more opportunities." And so when she shared to me how to get more opportunities, it took me. That's how I got on Chicago PD. If this girl don't give me that information, I don't get to Chicago PD. I don't get to Chicago Med. I don't get to 6 Degrees of Murder or Fatal Attractions or Buffalo
Yeah.
Bills commercial I did. You get what I'm saying? Like people on the route
Mm-hmm.
helped me get to where I am. Like I met Alvin on Chicago APD 5 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. Just one time we met. One
That
time.
is
We only
so
met
cool.
one time. But that's what I'm saying is that you don't know what is going to happen if you don't flow. Like you said, you got to flow through it. You got to go through
Yeah, you do. You do. I learned that even a couple years ago, me and my son, we went river tubing. And I always love to tell this story
it.
because when you get in the river, you have really no control, right? None at all, literally. Like you're moving through the river by the current, nothing else. You
Yeah.
don't have like the paddles. You don't have something that you're pushing your feet on. It's just you and the river and you're trusting it. You're trusting that you're not going to go under and not come back up because you're going to go under because there's these things called rapids. I call them mini tornadoes in the water and they go like this. And you're bound to go through those, but you're going to come back up. But there's just no guarantee that when you go in that river that is going to slow down enough where you're going to be able to get out of it and stop moving. You know what I mean? There's no
Right.
guarantee. And so when I look at like my ideas, my dreams, my goals, whatever that is, um, I, I just I have to get there. And it doesn't matter what happens along the way. Like it's a lot of stuff just in this past year that has happened, like losing loved ones, losing friends, dealing with the fact that the thing that changed about my environment is that I usually go on stages in schools and talk to the kids, and that all just ceased,
Hmm.
right? Like out of nowhere, it all ceased. And eventually, I definitely let go, and I was okay with it. But that still don't stop me from going for the goal, though. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like every day, I'm still making sure that I'm living on purpose, so it doesn't stop it. I want people to get out of these conversations. I want them to be inspired that they can, no matter what, you can still get through it and you'll go. That's the only way. My grandmother would say that you got to go through it. That's the only way to get through it, baby. You're gonna have to go through it. Like, that's it. Because I used to ask her, like, how do you still have a smile on your face? All your friends is gone. Just playing around with her, like, they all was
Right.
dead. And my grandmother was still here, and she was like, I just keep on living. And so I take that with me.
Right.
And I also want to share it with the world. Like, you just got to keep on living. Like, if you got to cry, cry. If you're in pain, feel the pain. But at some point, you're going to have to let go and you're still going to have to move forward. And that's what's going to determine the outcome. Whatever the new norm, all of these words that people use, I don't know what that is. But for right now, I feel like I'm creating my future right now at this moment, sitting here and
You are.
having a conversation with you, amazing actor, model, entrepreneur, CEO of Diesel Down Low, LLC. Like, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. So I hope that people get something out of this hour that we spend because I appreciate you. You're giving me and the audience hour, a gift of your time. Like you're spending your time. You're giving us something that you can't get it back. And how could I not be grateful for that? How could I not be grateful for you giving us the gift of your time? So I have to say, I have to give you roses right now and just say thank you again, because I really do appreciate you being here and sharing your story.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I was looking forward to it all week. I was watching Alvin's interview with you guys, and it was pretty cool. So I was like, let me get on. I got to get on.
Yeah, isn't that so cool? Right. That I miss, and that was the thing too. I mean, it brought back conversations because it was kind of like emails, text message, and very quick phone call. I'm outside. I'm on my way. Okay, bye. It was no longer like how it used to be when I was. I mean, I'm a little older. Growing up, where we had to call each other on the phone, and you left a message on the voicemail, and they called you back. And I even remember a time when it was no voicemail. There was no voicemail. Like if you missed the call, you just missed the
You missed
call,
the
and you
call.
knew that between 5 and 6 or whatever, that was dinner time, and nobody calls during that time. People were more respectful of like the family unit and meals. You weren't really going out. At least
Hmm.
in my neighborhood, you weren't going out to eat all the time. So all of those things, and I feel like during this time, the planet gets to break and families are spending more time with each other. Like I seen people riding their bikes. I haven't seen that in a
I
very long time. Like
haven't
the
either.
kids been like this in front of the computer or at their TVs. Like I'm seeing that more. And so I think I want people to disrupt their mindset of how they're looking at this, and look in front of you and really be grateful for what you have around you, big or small. Because I've had absolutely nothing and been the happiest person in the world, and then I feel like I was doing all right. But that doesn't have anything to do with how I feel. I don't want to
Right.
have that kind of emotional relationship attachment to my money. That's awful. That's
Yeah.
awful. That's like I don't want to have that feeling. What are some causes that you support?
Um, I'm trying to figure out what that is right now.
Yeah.
Somebody, people hit me up all the time about different causes, but I have to feel it. I have to love it. I has to feel like the right thing if I do it. But I'm really working on trying to get into Brazil, excuse me. Um, that's how we pronounce it, Brazil. Uh,
Okay.
but I'm trying to get involved in that country because opportunities there is limited. Not saying that for everybody, but some people don't have a chance. And if I come down there and do what I do, I feel like that's me supporting a cause. I have to find a way that is supporting people. So by giving opportunities or helping people grow, or giving back to the communities, um, just talking to people like this and giving time, like you said, and maybe some water. If people need water, that's something I'm looking forward to. Stuff like that.
Oh, that is amazing. There's so many people that are living with not good water. I've been on Clubhouse, and there it's like a community of conversations all day long. And so you hear the different experiences of how people are living, and there are some people that are not living with good water. I was in one of the rooms, and a young lady was saying her experience was just heartbroken just from listening and hearing us. So, oh my goodness. I just grab my bottle and I just drink. I don't even think
Mhm.
anything of it. But there are parts of the world and here, right here in the States, where people
It
are,
is.
they're not so, yeah, they don't have it. They don't have the good water to drink, because our body needs that.
Our water is made.
Our
Our
body
bodies.
really
Sorry,
needs
our
that.
water. Our body. Our body's made up of all water, almost all water, and water is one of the most powerful elements, in the world. And if you study, elements and all that, water is probably number one because if you think about it, water can be as gentle as it can be, or it can be like you said in the river. It could pull you under, or it could wipe away a whole town. Water is very powerful.
Water is very powerful. Yes, Angie, that's my soul sister that's on here. I am Angie Legg. She says Flint.
How you doing,
Yes,
Angie?
Flint is definitely one of the places, but there's actually others as well. And it's so funny. Like, I had a Zoom a little while ago, and I want to start speaking to the deaf community, right? There's like a 30 million network of people that I'm getting ready to tap into, because for some reason, they feel like they're the forgotten ones. They get the captions on the TV or whatnot, but a lot of times they don't actually translate it in a correct way. So there's this translator that I'm going to work with, because they're still going on with their daily lives. There are deaf actors, deaf models, deaf TV personalities. They can't hear, but they're functioning in the world just like you. They're no different. It's us sometimes, the masses of the people that name it a handicap. But the person that has it, they don't name it that. And I want to be able to like motivate and talk to them too. I don't want to just, I don't want to close off. It's a beautiful big world out here of people who are all living our lives in so many different ways. And we all should be sharing and giving with each other. That's what makes an entrepreneur such a great entrepreneur, because you're bringing value to the people, right? We're supposed to be here as
Exactly.
a benefit. There's some things that you do that I don't think I can do at all. But I bet there's some things that I'm really good at that you're not so good at.
That's
You
true.
understand what I'm saying? So it's about, how can I help you? How can we make each other better? And if people came with that, with the frequency of love, oh, but my world looks like that though, because I'm around some amazing, beautiful queens. Oh my God. I said, where were they when I was in high school and they were like being mean to me? Like, where were you? But
I gotta
they
ask you three
are.
things.
Yeah,
I gotta
go
ask you
ahead.
three things,
Yep.
or say three things. That what you said was I wanted to touch on before you go
Oh,
to the
please
next
do.
thing.
Yep.
You touched on Flint, Michigan. That was my next goal, by the way, is to get into Michigan area. I got a big map over here of Michigan, and I look at it. Every time I'm in my office, I look at Michigan, and I see all the possibilities there. How does a state with the most water not have the best water? I just don't get it. But they have so many lakes, and as well. But anyway, the next thing you said was about deaf people. My brother's deaf.
Yes.
My brother's deaf. Did you hear
Oh,
that?
okay.
My
Yep.
brother. My
Yep. I heard you.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know. Yeah, my
Wow.
brother's deaf.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because you got
I
froze.
mean, I get that.
Wow.
I get what you were saying because, he
Yeah.
was telling me the same thing. He's like, you need to get involved with it more. He's telling me this, and I've been, learning. He's been teaching me sign language. He's teaching me sign language and how to do it. And so I get what you're going, because my brother and all his friends feel the same way that you felt.
Yep. She is and the translator that I'm going to be working with, she's African. She's a beautiful African American woman, and there's very few in that field. So when they're communicating, and this is a good point that she made. Like when we are in the hospital and they call the translator, is either you talk to someone over that phone, or when they do come down, they're not really, I don't know, it's just they don't interact the way that we would in our ethnicity.
Right.
It would be just a totally different conversation. You understand what I'm saying? And they don't usually have
I do.
the language for that. So I think it's just going to be such an amazing journey, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I'm so excited to like start this.
No,
Like
me
this is going to
too.
be amazing.
Me
I want to
too.
interview. I want to interview them. I want to bring them on. We're going to do it like on Zoom. So therefore, I'll have the translator there, and we're going to go on the Zoom, and I'm going to interview them just like I'm doing here on the live Instagram. And that's going to be
I gotta
freaking
connect you with my brother.
phenomenal. Yep.
I gotta
Yep.
connect you with
Connect
my little
us.
brother.
I'm telling you, connect us. Yeah. So I don't know. It's like so many things. Like when you got all these ideas, it's like just try it. Like you have no idea what can come from that. You know what I mean? Like you don't know. Like I literally left Cleveland, left a house and a car and all of that. I had like a couple dollars, a baby stroller, and I came into New York
Mm.
City on the Greyhound. That was like almost 15 years ago.
Oh,
But I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know where I was going to live some of the times, but I knew I wasn't going back here. I knew I wasn't going back. How do you feel as a
hold up.
leader?
Before
How
you
do you,
go,
oh, go ahead.
before you
Uh-huh.
go, hold up. What
Go
part of
ahead.
Cleveland are you from?
If on the east side of Cleveland, it would be, if you're familiar with Superior Avenue, it would be probably close to like 87th to Superior in Ansel, that
Are you
area,
in East
Ansel
Cleveland?
Road. No, before East Cleveland. I know what you're talking about, but no, outside of East
Okay.
Cleveland. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can go ahead and continue.
Oh, no, that's okay. What do you think? How do you lead through change? How can one lead through change?
Oh man, that's a good question. Being teachable. You got as a leader, you got to be able to be teachable as you're teaching other people. So it's always going to be someone that can help you on your journey as well. You need to have a mentor, I think. Maybe not have a mentor, but you got to still be teachable, so you can still teach people how to navigate, like you said, through whatever it is that they want to navigate. For you to be a leader, you got to be teachable.
I was in a conversation this morning and we were talking about I guess one area in your life that you feel that you can be better at. I think it was something along those lines. And I brought up something about no expectations. For a while, I studied, many different religions, more spiritual for me than anything. But I would meditate and I would know, like, I would read these things of like, have no expectations, because if you do that, then it would be disappointments because there's no way that anybody can live up to your expectations. That's like saying, can you read my mind? Like that, it's impossible to do that. So I think that that is one of the things that, there are parts that I probably feel like I may struggle in. Like, do you have like
Yeah,
something like, what is your relationship with the expectations? How does that look for you?
I, that I want to do everything, but you can't do everything. I want to do everything. I want to dominate everything.
Everything.
I just want to dominate everything. But probably just wanted to do everything. And
Oh my goodness.
expectations as
I had
well.
this expectation. Yeah, I had this friend in New York City, Andrew Silverman, his name is, and he has 150 restaurants in New York. I don't know how they're doing now. Yeah, that's a lot, right? And I was like, how do you manage all of that? And he says, man, I don't know. Like you get into it and it just gets great. And you just learn how, the operation of it and you just do it. He said, honestly, the hardest thing about managing all of those businesses is the money, because employees be doing some crazy stuff. Like, but he said,
Yeah,
other than that, he loved it.
right. Because like employees, I don't even like saying that. People that work for them and help the business grow, they don't understand how it is
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur, and they don't know how it is when money costs, things cost, when you make mistakes and all that. And they think that it's infinite, which I don't blame you for thinking that. You just don't know because you don't have that understanding of what it takes to run a business. And so people don't understand when losses are being made, people got to go because they can't afford you, honestly, most of the time. So go ahead, finish.
Yep, no, that's true. That's absolutely true. So tell me about some of the products and stuff that you have going on now, because I know that we're approaching towards the end and we got to talk about that. Tell me about the Diesel Download LLC,
Oh, it was just
CEO.
it was just something I created, just because I wanted to. It was something I just want to create because I felt like I told you before, that I wanted to do it right. You want to be professional, you want to be taken serious, and I
Hmm.
knew that I had to get had to do it right because one, just how life is, you got to have everything, check marked off or whatever. You got to do things correctly, and I just wanted to be a professional, and people weren't taking me serious until I said that. I had an LLC, so just getting an LLC was very important because you got to get the EIN and you got to get vendor's license. You got to get different licenses. You got to get and things that they didn't even teach me in college, and not their fault because I feel like they need more business people to teach the students, like actual people that's out there running businesses to teach
Yes.
schools.
Hmm.
But the products I'm working on now is just finding ways to inspire people out there. Working on the books, working on animation, working on storytelling, working on, representing brands as well, representing our clothing brand. We want to take that to the next level. We're working on different projects and music and podcasts, whatever, like anything that to create inspiration, and that I can do. That's what we're gonna do.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely amazing. My next question is how do you measure success as a leader?
Did we change people's lives? Did the product or service change someone's life positively? You know, and did people take it and inspire other people? That's what I measured it by. Did we win? Did we win the prize? It's not all about winning, but it is. It depends what sport or whatever you're doing, what project it is. But are
Uh-huh.
we inspiring people? That's the main thing. Or am I inspiring you to even yourself? Like, am I inspiring you to get your own brand and take it to the next level? Those are things that I want people to take from me. Don't try
I'm
to,
inspired.
of course, we all inspired by each other. It's a flow, it's a circle. Uh, but I just want people to be inspired. If they're inspired by a project, and that's a success to me.
Wow, no, that is absolutely that is absolutely amazing. I am inspired. Hi, Sparkle. So I want to shout out my sponsor. I was trying to send this to you a little bit earlier, but that's okay. You get to look at it afterwards. I have a sponsor. This is a
Okay.
digital business card. So basically, all of everything that's attached to Diesel Download is all download is right there all in one space. So you have like you can put the YouTube channel, LinkedIn, email, whatever, the merchandise, those links, you can put all of those links all in one place. And it's a QR code. So they can like scan the code from your phone and it comes up looking like just like this, like an app. And it's actually so cool because it doesn't take up that space. You know how sometimes when you're downloading the app and it takes up the space, this is cloud based, so there's no space that it takes up, but it looks like and functions just like an app. It's the coolest thing. So shout out to my sponsor, 10K Cards. So
I definitely want to do
that's my
that.
gift.
I
Yeah.
definitely
So
want to do
that's
that.
my gift to you. I want you to make sure, when you get a chance to look at the link, make sure that everything is spelled correctly. You like the picture, all of those things. We'll be happy to change that for you. But shout out to 10K Cards.
Oh, tell them let's do something. Let's work it out.
Yep. Yep. He's probably, I wonder if he's still on here because he was on here earlier.
Tell them to hit me
Oh my
up.
goodness. I would definitely do that. Yep. I
I
would
definitely want to
definitely do
support
that.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. So, oh my goodness, we're down to the end. This is one more question before the last question. Two more. So, how can right now I just during the pandemic became an international best-selling author of a book, right? And the book is titled Number One Habit Series for Entrepreneurial Success. There's a mindset that goes with this thing to continue to strive and persevere.
Hmm.
And I noticed for me, goal setting was a very important thing that I'm glad that I incorporated because I didn't always have it. I would let people call me all day long. I would answer the calls. Hey, what's up? And knowing that it was not even conducive to what I was doing at that moment, it was actually taking me away from being productive. And it has absolutely changed my life to have goals and be able to have like a set schedule, how I, go throughout my day. How do you think, um, what other ways do you feel that goals can be important when it comes to being a leader?
Well, it's very important. Like you said, like you mentioned before, you said people will just call you whenever you do whatever and pick up phone call, blah blah blah. I learned from a mentor of mine that uh, basically that you want to make your goals very crystal clear,
Yes.
and if anything doesn't line up to that, it got to go. That's what I learned.
Okay.
Very simple. Like if it don't add up to what you're trying to do, it got to go. You know what I mean? So if it's not adding up to whatever you want it to do in your life, and if it's not adding value to whatever you're trying to do, why are you doing it? So setting goals, you got to set goals that are going to be tangible goals. You have short-term goals, you have long-term goals, and you want to
Yes.
make sure as a leader, you make sure you focus on both goals at the same time. You got to keep things in your face. Like right now, I have vision boards in my face, like where I want the brand to look in the next couple of years. Where do I want what I want for my own career to be looking like? So I have to reflect that, and life and the universe brings that to you. When you have that inside, it comes out, and once you show expression, then the law of attraction works. Then law of radiation, and then law of magnets, whatever people use all type of different words now, but the law, like the law works though. Once you
Right.
show
The law works. The law is the
however
law.
you want to say it, however you want people to say it. But like I was saying though, you want to just basically have short term and long term and make sure it's a focus.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's that
Oh my
simple.
goodness. That is that is so funny, but really that is very true. At the end of every show, I always ask if you could give one word. And even though our whole conversation has been nothing about it's been all about motivation and inspiration, I'm still going to ask the question. One word or a sentence, something to help motivate or inspire us as we continue to move forward.
I got one for you guys.
Okay.
Rest at the end of the journey, not in the middle.
Oh, rest at the end of the journey and not the middle. I love that one. Huh. All right. Love, light, and energy to you and your family as you continue on this journey. I am definitely looking forward to building with you. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you, thank you, thank you again so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And everyone, wow. Thank you for the donations. That's always cool. Thank you guys for like tuning in with us. And until the next time, until the next time we
Uh,
meet. Have an amazing
Yep.
one.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Appreciate you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.